Hello and welcome to another lesson of the TI-30XB student course. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at an example of unit conversion between degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit using the constant function to help you with that conversion. Now, the reason I've picked this particular formula to use is, firstly, it's a really common one that comes up in Year 7 and 8 when you're first learning about substituting values into formulas. And there's also quite a bit going on. So you're multiplying the temperature in degrees Celsius by a factor of 9/5 as a fraction, or 1.8 as a decimal, and then you're adding on a constant amount of 32 degrees. So the TI-30XB can help us with this conversion by, again, using that constant function k. Now, if you haven't listened to the video LS11 in this student course, I would strongly recommend that you go back and look at that before continuing on with this one, because that's going to help you with the background of using the k function. Okay, so to access the k function, we're going to press second, and then we're going to go into the division sign there, which has got that k on the top of it. So in here, it comes up with our k equals. And like I said, when we're converting from degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit, we're multiplying by a fraction of 9/5. And we're adding on 32 degrees. Okay, so whatever value I type into my calculator, it's gonna, this constant function here is automatically going to multiply that number by 9/5 and then add 32 to it. Okay, so pressing enter, you'll notice that that k comes up at the top of the screen, and then I can quit second mode to quit out of here, and that brings up my calculator screen. Okay, so the first temperature we're going to look at converting is just 5 degrees Celsius and put that into Fahrenheit. So again, all I have to do is type in 5 and then straight away just press enter, and that's going to automatically apply that formula to the number on the screen. So multiplying that 5 by that 9/5 and then adding 32, and we end up with 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The second temperature I'm going to convert is 16 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit. So again, type in 16 and then just enter, and again it applies that formula, and we end up with 304/5 degrees in Fahrenheit. We don't often talk about temperature being a fraction. It's quite often generally represented as a decimal value, if anything. So if I wanted to convert this now, this 304/5 into a decimal, what I would need to do is turn off that k function. So again, second and the division time, so I to turn that off. And then from there, I could simply use my up arrow to highlight that answer. Press enter to bring it down into the next line, and then I could convert using my second and the table button, so convert that from a fraction into a decimal and press enter. And there I can see 60.8 degrees Fahrenheit would be that temperature at 16 degrees Celsius. Now, if I wanted all of my values to appear as a decimal, it's really just as simple as changing that fraction in our formula originally into a decimal. Rather than being 9/5, we could have that as 1.8, and that would solve that problem as well. So if we go second and then again the division, now instead of having this 9/5, I could put that in as 1.8 and then delete that fraction that's in there. There we go. Okay, and press enter. Okay, now in here, if I type in the 16, because I have that as a decimal, my answer should be output as a decimal as well. So there you can see 60.82. It really just depends on whether you're using a decimal or a fraction, what type of answer you're after, especially depending on the textbook or the resource that you're using. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Thank you so much. Bye.